When I watch a book of games, a collection of games like this one, I generally look for names that I know. In this case, one of the games I saw was Korchnoi. Korchnoi, also known as the Terrible Victor, is here destroyed in 25 moves by Nunn. And I would like to show you this game because I know that Nunn had many theoretical battles in the French, so he really knew what he was doing. But in this case, there is this Rubinstein variation that I have played it, I admit it, because generally you try to play it against a stronger opponent to get a draw. But here I don't understand why Korchnoi played it. This was Tilburg 1991. Okay, Nunn is white, Korchnoi is black, and he plays the e6. That is one of his favorite opening. And you see, maybe because he played e6, he would never become world champion, because clearly c5 was the one where you had to really fight, right? d4, d5, knight c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4, and knight d7. This is good for white because he immediately gets the center and he has all the pieces out, so it's really difficult to fight it. And you try to exchange the pieces because then it will become a kind of endgame where you are kind of drawing and don't really risk much, right? Knight takes f6, bishop takes f6. But now, as you can see, white is not playing for a draw. White is playing for winning. And if you play for winning, you don't exchange the pieces again. You play h4 because you want to open the file on where black is going to castle. Black here played c5, attacking the center. Again, at this point, and this is why watching this kind of miniatures, because it's a book of miniatures, is very instructive, more than entertaining. Here you have tension, right? You could take, I take. Here you have tension, right? Black doesn't obviously want to try to solve this tension, but white doesn't. White keeps the tension. How does he keep the tension? Queen d2. And now, watch what happens. Like I told you, black wants to solve the tension to make it go away, because if he solves the tension, it's maybe in a drawish equalizing endgame. But white doesn't want that. So black plays c takes d4. What do you think is white answer? White answer with castle. Because he wants to attack. You can see it. This is he wants to attack. This is the message, right? He didn't take back at all. Very interesting, right? And now black makes a move that is very interesting. The author says this move looks greedy, which is e5, but it is not a mistake. Korchnoi wants to make white work a bit to regain the pawn. In reality, this is the opening. Korchnoi has the wrong philosophy in here, because yes, he got the center in this way, and he thinks white wants to regain the pawn, but if I would be white, I don't want to regain the pawn. I want to attack your king in the center. And when your king is going here, I want to open that file because I'm going to kill you here. So, because you don't have protection. So, as you can see, at this point, we see two different philosophies, two different approaches to the game. One thinks, oh, you have to get the pawn back. The other says, the goal of the game is checkmate. Rook e1. Castle. And at this point, you know, I'm not even following the comments because I don't care, honestly. It just castle in the mouth of a lion. Hey, that's great. Queen, knight takes e5. And here, Korchnoi seems he made a mistake with this rook e8. Let's see, because it's a kind of interesting thing. Let's see what he says. A tactical error. Black could have justified his strategy by knight takes e5, rook takes e5, bishop e6. This is better. This position is not bad, honestly, because at least black has finished the development, right? Bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, queen takes d4, rook f d8, good move, queen e3, rook c8, with enough play for the sacrifice pawn. Okay, so at this point we have the opposite situation. Black has sacrificed a pawn to gain an attack. And yes, this makes sense, honestly, this makes sense. And this would be also a good outcome for a Rubinstein French defense, but honestly, it's not going to go down like this. It doesn't make any sense. If white plays the Rubinstein, against the Rubinstein, he wants to attack. So let me return back to the position. Okay, this was the position, and we saw that black should have taken instead of playing rook e8. Okay, so after rook e8, we need to find the white move. What do you think white will play in this position? Try to find the move, because I think it's very important, not that you just watch these videos for watching them, but that you learn something. So at a certain point, I always ask you to put yourself in white shoes, and or in the winner's shoes, and try to find the move like the winner would do. Because if you do this enough times, you will do it automatically in your own games. So white played knight takes f7. Boom! A devastating blow. How does black continue? Obviously not with this move. Why? And this is you need to calculate, however. You must not play the move just because you want to play the move. You need to calculate why this is wrong. Okay? If you don't calculate, I'm sorry, you didn't really do the exercise. And let's say that it goes here. Okay? If he goes here, there is a checkmate in check, king f5, and then queen f4 mate, okay? Tac, tac, tac. This you must be able to see it. So, king g6 is obviously not the move. The move is king f8. After king f8, how does white continue? With rook takes e8, check. Queen takes e8, rook e1, okay, and now you have knight e5, okay, bishop takes f6, g takes f6, and this is the point why you also watch these games. As you can see, very, very instructive. Queen h6. This gives you practically an idea of some tactics and where the pieces go. So you don't really need to study the tactic trainer. You need to watch entire games because these things will happen over and over. And after this, there is this, and white wins. Why white wins? Because that's what you need to know, right? He cannot play this because this is here, right? He could go here, That's a possibility, right? But again, there is this, right? So where does it go? Because as you can see, and notice this is out of a game. So it's like if black is played with 8 points less. So maybe it can do this, but as you can see, maybe there is this, maybe there is this, I don't know. But as you can see, white is as having a tremendous attack, and you will lose every single piece. So what do you do? Okay, let's return back to the position in the game. Okay, we were in this position, and white had this devastating move, to which black didn't play king takes f7. Of course, you can analyze more if you care. But what did black play? He played rook takes e1. Check, right? Okay, so how did the game continue? Queen takes e1, king takes f7, bishop c4, check. As you can see, the problem in the Rubinstein is that you need to bring out these pieces, and often you don't have enough time, and that's the truth. King f8, queen e6, boom, because now there is a possibility to give checkmate, okay? And that's interesting. Bishop takes g5, check. Wow, he gained a tempo thanks to that. Okay, h takes g5, and now he gained another tempo. King b1, but you understand, it's like to have a sword over your head, because this is a checkmate, right? So I'm trying to understand what Korchnoi calculated. Knight e5 to block it. But unfortunately, there is another problem. That's why I told you also check this thing, because he gave check immediately on this. And on this, now you need to find white's move. Okay, what would you play if you were white? Okay, he played rook e1. Very good move. Yeah. Now black needed to give up some material if you want to try to survive, because there could be a checkmate at this point. So he played bishop d7, and this is a kind of interesting because he practically distracts this queen from the checkmate, right? Because you understand, this is now pin, so he cannot defend this, for example. You understand, he cannot take because you are pin. So that's why black did this to bring the queen away. But at this point, things are not really good, right? Queen d2, rook takes e5, and probably the end is here. King f6, e3. King takes e5, queen b8, king f5, and the game ends here after this move. Queen f8, boom. Why the game ends here? Because now it's black turn to move, right? Where does he move? Let's say he moves here, right? Check. Then he moves here. Oops. And this is gone. and so the game is over practically. Yeah, it's not a typical miniature in which you see the checkmate of the enemy king, but at this point the endgame is untenable also for the great Korchnoi. However, one thing I would like you guys to advise you is to play this position as white against an engine, because in this way you will see if you are able to win or not. Engine at maximum strength, and you will discover that it can be an humiliating experience. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game from this book, 101 Brilliant Chess Miniatures. It's an old book, but honestly the games are really beautiful. Thank you for watching.